Hi there, my name is Toby, and today I want to try and explain to you why the planet Earth is alive. Again, it's an ancient idea. We have Gaia, we have Mother Earth. The ancient shamans, they all talked about Mother Earth. They're all connected to the living planet. So why is this so? Now, I've talked about this on Aether Physics, talked about life, and I'm trying to explain life. Life is actually very simple. Biology is very, very complicated. You see, the life forms, and in particular the humanoid form, is got to be trillions and trillions of layers of complexity. And we're trying to look at these layers. Now, even biology has got incredibly complicated, but they're only scratching the surface. You know, they might have uncovered maybe, 1,000, 10,000 layers of complexity, trying to understand them. But there's going to be millions, trillions of layers of complexity. We cannot understand what's going on in some of these things. There's so many layers. But life itself is simple. It's ever so simple. It's only one thing. It's only one thing. There's different life forms inside the body. I've talked about it. There's bacteria, mitochondria, cells, and then there are all lots of different other things going on. But it's still only one thing going on. The different life forms don't matter. They're all animated by the same life force. It's very hard to wrap your head around this. See, different bacteria, we're saying they're separate from us. You know, that's why we're scared. They're terrifying us about bacteria. Yeah, no. It's only the life force. It's the same force. Doesn't matter that they're different organisms. It's the same force. It's the same force. And only at the level of a self-aware being, a humanoid being, have we got a soul. At this level, we are independent. Lower levels are not independent. So it's again the same story about the master can control the animals. It's because they're lower consciousness. It's easier to control them because it's the same force. It's the same force. If you control the force, you control the life forms. Now, again, even with us, human to human can control each other. That's hypnosis. So a weaker-minded person can be controlled by a stronger-minded person. It's because it's the same force. You're not two separate people. Those two separate people combine, and then the dominant one controls it. Do you see how it works? The same in the body. All these different things combine, but the dominant soul controls them all. And that's you. You are the dominant soul that controls, or the dominant concentration of spirit that can control all these things in the body, which are still just spirit, or various manifestations of spirit. And it doesn't matter what those manifestations are. So that's why I'm not too bothered about biology. I look into it a bit and see what people tell me, and I try to explain it sometimes, but I think when I go into too much detail it gets too confusing. So I'm going to just explain it like this, very simply. You see, because the details, again, they'll go on forever. You're going to forever and forevermore be finding details in biology and how the human body works. It's so complicated. And that's what the soul is, layers of complexity. Once you've reached a level of complexity, that requires more spirit. Now, the planet Earth, by the same principle, is a conglomerate of living beings. All types of life are on the planet Earth. All types of life. And together, that creates a whole spirit. There's a whole spirit with all this life on the planet Earth. And because all levels of life are there, all types of spirit are there, higher consciousness and lower consciousness, the Earth in itself, in that coherence of the force, can itself look like or be a living being, a conscious being in its own right. Mother Earth. It will have feelings. It will have feelings. Feelings is the expression of life through the body. So it will. You can tune into the feelings of the Earth. But do not underestimate Mother Earth. It's powerful. Powerful. Far more powerful than we can imagine. It's very powerful. Now you look at it energetically. Energetically, again, a planet is like an atom. Same pattern. See, I talk about it. The universe must be made of spheres. It has to be because of mathematics, because of geometry. And once you have got atoms, you have to have spheres. Atoms are spheres. Everything will become a sphere. It's efficiency. The most efficient geometry for space is a sphere. Entropy will collapse everything into a sphere. We know you've got entropy and it will collapse into a sphere. It has to. So the larger the body of matter, the closer to a perfect sphere. So that's why you'll have planets. You have to. And the force is electromagnetism. Magnetism is the same as gravity, but that is a force that pulls towards the middle. That's what magnetism is. That's what gravity is. That's why it's the same force. It's just a force, a collapsing force of entropy that pulls towards the middle. And because it pulls towards the middle, everything will form a sphere. Because it has to pull towards the middle. It has to. So there's no such thing as gravity. Gravity is just magnetism. Or if you like gravity, then there's no such thing as magnetism. There's only gravity. All I'm saying, there's only one force. There's only one. I don't care what you call it. There's one force that pulls things towards the center. In fact, you could call that entropy. I call that entropy then. So entropy will create spheres. Has to. So for a planet, our planet, we've got everything. We've got water and we've got heat. At a certain size, there's a particular size that is required. Again, this is all going to be to do with the mathematics of the universe. Golden ratio. There's a specific size planet that allow life to form on it. And the size must be correct. It must be big enough that it can hold water. You see, if the planet is too small, water won't stick to it. There's no way of sticking it. There's not enough gravity to hold it on. So a small lump of rock passing through water in space, you just get a little bit, it might stick to it. And then of course space is cold, you've got ice. So that's what you've got, comets in space. There's loads of water in space. In more water than you can imagine in space. And of course mostly it's ice. But near some stars or, it's going to be heat, hotter, you can have water. Water is self-assembly. It will just assemble itself. It's quite miraculous. That's why you need water for life. Again, all the mathematics of the golden ratio build all this structure up. But at a certain size, you've got enough gravity that a body of water can stick to it. And that's why you'll have water going round. Because it's always pulled towards the middle. But remember, it's got to be huge, this planet. So big that it virtually looks like it's flat. If it's smaller, you can't have it. It's not going to be that much. And then, of course, you've also got heat. Again, it's got to be the right size, got big enough that there's pressure. The gravitational force, or that entropic force pulling to the center, creates pressure. That creates pressure inside the planet, which creates heat. So there's heat inside it. There's fire in the belly. Now, this is like a life form. This is us. We've got fire in the belly. We've got fire and water. But more than that, the Earth is spinning, and it must be moving. Because when you've got magnetism or a magnetic field, when you've got an object moving in a magnetic field, you've got electricity. So movement and magnetism, or movement and gravity, creates energy. So the Earth is spinning. It's always spinning, spinning, spinning. That is creating an energy, an electricity. So it is alive from the force itself. Just like us, we have to spin, move the energy round in circles, spin. All different circles of energy. That's what a dynamo is. That's how you create electricity. You have a coil of wire and a magnet, and either you spin the coil around it, you have to spin. You have to create a movement between these structures, and that gives you electricity. So the planet Earth is doing that. It's alive. And there's a magnetic field around it as well, the Van Allen belt. Around the Earth, further away, very powerful magnetic field. That's one of the big problems about going to the moon, because how did you get through the Van Allen belt? It's so powerful, you can't survive. Yeah, you might be able to survive in a weak area, they say. But if you went up to the North Pole that way, and all the way round to the moon, you'd avoid the Van Allen belt. So you could do that, but it's a long way round. So it's another big question. How do you get through the Van Allen belt if you went to the moon? I'll talk about that another day. But again, I do believe the moon is real. It's there, just like the Earth is real. It's here. I'll talk about the moon another day. But the Earth, you could see it as a living thing. All these things around it, building it. So the Van Allen belt is like the aura, the projection of the magnetic field around us. It's a living energy being in its own right. It's a higher consciousness because it encompasses all these lower consciousnesses. So in our meditation, When we connect deep to the ground, you can tune into Mother Earth. You ground yourself in Mother Earth. But the energy is vast. It's so powerful. We think we're doing damage with our technology. Yeah, we're still insignificant. It makes no difference. This has happened before. We would do this all the time. But the point is, the planet Earth is so powerful, she'll just change everything, shake it all up if she wants to. Now, we're messing around with higher technology. That's why we're doing all these damaging things to Mother Earth. Again, that's a whole other story. I talk about it a lot. We're looking at the dark side of the Force compared to the light side of the Force. But ultimately, the light side of the Force is connecting to the power of Mother Earth. So if you can tune into the power of Mother Earth, find a coherence, that is tuning in, that is gaining the power, that is assisting in Mother Earth healing herself. Now again, not really healing herself, it's not really that. It's about balance, it's all about balance. It's just balancing. So you go a bit out of balance, you've got to balance back. A bit out of balance, you've got to balance back. See, that's what the spin is. The spin is balance. You see, and we're spinning at a continuous rate. So that's why we don't feel it. We're just spinning at exactly the same rate. Just like we're in a car drinking a coffee, it's still. But if your car suddenly hits, then the coffee will fly out. The same with the Earth. If the Earth would suddenly stop, then all the water would fly off. Then we would all fly off. You'd have tidal waves, everything. The whole thing would just go crazy if the Earth suddenly stopped. So, I mean, that would require a collision, that sort of thing. But, it's in perfect balance, just like an atom. This is where the spirit has created these areas of perfect balance. It's again based on the mathematics of the golden ratio. Everything has to appear just the right way. And the spirit is the thing above it all, maintaining the balance. So you can think about the living planet, Mother Earth, is maintained by the spirit. The spirit is governing the balance. And that's why, again, we must take heart, those of you who, those of us are despairing about the state of the world, the terrible corruption, the terrible evil that's happening. And there is some terribly evil things happening. You've got to open your eyes if you haven't seen them. A lot of damage, but most of the damage is being done to us as living beings. As living beings. Mother Earth has got the ability to transform everything. For a while it'll turn, and it will transform everything. That's why we can release our negative energy down to the Earth. It's just like our waste products go to the Earth transforms them and brings up new life. So we ground to the Earth, let our sadness, our depression, our pain, our suffering go to the Earth can absorb it. It's balance, it wants it, it's good energy for the Earth. So we let our negative emotions go, and the new energy can come up from Mother Earth. That's why Mother Earth looks after us. When you lie down in bed at night, just imagine you're lying on Mother Earth. Mother Earth is looking after you, soothing you, just letting everything go, let it all go. So that's how the shamans would do it. The shamans would dig a hole, lie in the ground like a grave, but they're going to deep meditation, connecting to Mother Earth, letting everything go, letting it go, healing themselves. So this is an introduction. Of course, I'm going to talk more and more about this, but this is where you've got to understand the life force is still only one force. One force, but infinite variety of life forms. But they're all the same. It's all the same. It's just interplay, symbiosis of all these things. And that is governed by the force, the ether, the spirit. And we as a soul have got some power. We actually as a soul can command it. That's what it is. We can command it. So we can command and control the lower life forms. And we've got to do it inside our body first of all. We've got to gain control of the mitochondria, because these are the things that give us energy. These are the bacteria, my word, bacteria, the lowest life form that we need that give us energy. So they are the building blocks required for higher life forms. You need mitochondria and you need cells. You need this symbiosis, then you can have a higher life form. So if you've got to go down to the lower life forms, the mitochondria, you gain control of those. That's electromagnetism. You're gaining control of the fundamental creation of life. Life emerging from a mitochondria. Because the emergence of life is still electromagnetism. That is it. The electromagnetism is powering the DNA. The information is spirit, but spirit still creates electromagnetism to power it. Do you see? So higher life controls lower life because it's just one thing, life. Same, aliens, one thing. No big deal, just our brothers and sisters in the stars. And higher life forms, energy beings, same thing. So you'll have other planets like the Earth with different energies as well. It all works like that. The fractal nature of the universe. Everything copies each other. You look at big size, small size, all the same pattern. And you see also Mother Earth is abundant. So abundant. Things are created in the Earth. Again, we've been deceived a bit about this. We've got primary water. See, water is self-assembly. As I said, it will just get together. Oxygen and hydrogen will just assemble into water. So it is created deep underground. It's actually created geologically. So it rises up, and that's called primary water. You've got to research that. So there's plenty of water, infinite supply of water. And they say now the planet is 70% water, but really 90%. 90% because you've got to include underground. And really it's infinite because it's created primary water. Same with oil. We're told it's fossil fuel. No, it's an abiotic hydrocarbon. It's created geologically also. I mean, it can create it in different ways, but it's a natural product that is created deep underground. It continually rises up. No shortage of oil either. And in fact, it's a natural product. It's not so bad as we're told either. The byproducts of burning oil are simply carbon monoxide, and that is metabolized by bacteria in the soil. The whole thing is the carbon cycle. It's natural. It's not so bad. But we've done a lot of other terrible things, put things inside there, messed it around a bit. So the earth is abundant. Everything we need is there, and life is continually emerging. All the elements required for life are in the planet. They're in Mother Earth. So life is continually emerging. She is giving birth to us. It's like that. It's like that. And life is always growing, always new. That's the nature of creation itself. So life is always emerging, new life. There's always variations, little variations happening. It's not evolution, it's variations on a theme. Variations on the theme of the golden ratio. And I talked about evolution, check out the previous lecture. But it's all got to be the golden ratio mathematics. That allows for continuous new growth. Always changing, on for infinity. Only one mathematical solution that allows this manifestation of living organisms. But again, because of the holistic nature of the force, it's all one force anyway, and a higher spirit means a higher control of more smaller spirits, put it that way. So on the planet Earth, there's a higher spirit looking after all the smaller spirits. You can think of it like that, quite literally like the shaman think about it. It's emotional. Again, it's subjective. This is metaphysics. But metaphysics together with physics is life. That's what we got. We've got life. The whole manifest universe is actually life. Life from different levels. A certain level of spirit to more levels of spirit. Simple as that. It's all interaction. The ether interacting with the material realm. All different levels. Meditate on Mother Earth. Meditate on Mother Earth. Ground yourself and feel supported by Mother Earth. Very, very powerful. So much power in the earth, we can't imagine it. Don't underestimate it. It's powerful. We can tap into that power. The frequency, the Schumann resonance, it's got its own heartbeat. And its blood is like the water. It's very much like a living organism. So thank you so much for listening. I hope this made sense. please do check out my whole Aether Physics series, and check out my homepage and look through all my subjects. And just to click on playlists and have a look. They're all different, my videos. Should be something to interest you. So thank you so much for your time, and I hope to see you in any of these other videos here.